tonight on the South Today. The sights and sounds of yesteryear return to Kingston as their famous locomotive goes full steam ahead. Firefighters kept busy as cars go up in flames at a Christchurch wreckers yard. And the anniversary of women gaining the right to vote in New Zealand is celebrated. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Hannah Wilkins. The town of Kingston was transported back to the golden age of steam over the weekend. The Kingston Flyer welcomed paying passengers on board for the first time in 9 years to enjoy the rattle and hum of the historic steam train.
Back on track and riding the rails. The hiss and roar of the historic Kingston Flyer returned over the weekend, with the train welcoming paying customers for the first time in 9 years.
It means a huge amount to me. It's been a lot of hard work in the last 4 years to get this up and running again, mainly with resource consents and legalities and rail licence.
The Flyer has operated privately as a heritage steam train tourist attraction for the last decade. It was mothballed before being purchased by a group of Auckland-based investors in 2017. Around 150 people bought a ticket to ride on Sunday for the 14-kilometre journey between Kingston and Fairlight. The day was particularly special for Kingston Flyer director Neville Simpson. He's led the train's restoration and believes it's an asset to more than just the southern region.
And it is important to the nation as well, because this is arguably one of the most famous heritage railways left in New Zealand.
Local Member of Parliament Joseph Mooney was pleased to see the Flyer up and running again.
Me personally, grew up with a big part of my childhood, knowing about the Kingston Flyer, and I think for a lot of Kiwis it's the same.
The public will get the chance to jump on board, with 2 services planned to operate every Sunday until mid-December. In Kingston, the South Today.
Voting papers have been sent out and hopeful Dunedin City Council candidates are eager to ensure they're top of voters' minds. Former ODT editor Phil Somerville's popular Upoho Forum saw a range of candidates address the 200-strong crowd. The forum is well known for Somerville's Cat in the Hat headpiece, with the hopeful politicians split into 2 groups for their debates by their surnames. Last night featured councillors whose surnames fell between MA to W, with tonight's event at 7 p.m. seeing the remaining candidates debate. Some brave workers are hanging off the cliff face in St Clair in an effort to help prevent rock falls. The abseilers are drilling holes into the bluffs behind the Francis Hodgkins retirement village, securing double twist wire mesh netting across the rock face. The work is being carried out as part of a 10-week rockfall mitigation program aimed at preventing rocks from falling on the road below. 5 of the crew have been brought down from Christchurch to help complete the labour-intensive work, which is expected to be completed by late October. Firefighters battled a large blaze at a Christchurch scrap metal yard last night in Woolston. 8 appliances were needed to bring the fire under control, the blaze coming just a month after another scrapyard fire in the suburb.
Residents in Woolston had a sleepless night, with many reporting loud bangs as firefighters battled another large blaze at a Christchurch scrap metal yard. Emergency services were called to the fire at Lohman Auto Parts on Kenaway Road in Woolston about 10:30 p.m. on Sunday. 8 fire appliances were needed to bring the well-involved fire under control. A number of vehicles at the yard were destroyed. The blaze comes a month after another scrapyard fire on nearby Garlands Road. CCTV footage from the scene showed 4 people on the site at the time of the incident. A Fire and Emergency New Zealand spokesman says the cause of the Kenaway Road blaze is as yet unknown. Police and a fire investigator are on site this morning. In Christchurch, the South Today.
Dancers and athletes descended on Invercargill at the weekend, keen to compete for top national aerobics titles. More than 250 school-aged competitors danced their way across the stage at ILT's Stadium Southland for the National Schools Aerobics Championships. It was the 28th time the 3-day championships have been held, with competitors showcasing their routines after months of rehearsal. The athletes were all hoping to impress the judging panel and the near sellout crowd. It's 129 years since a law was passed in New Zealand giving all adult women the right to vote. The anniversary of that major decision became known as Suffrage Day, with Christchurch residents marking the day at the Kate Sheppard National Memorial.
A national memorial to Kate Sheppard and other leading campaigners overlooked today's Suffrage Day celebrations in Christchurch. It was on this day 129 years ago that women first won the right to vote in New Zealand, with around 100 people gathering in the central city on Monday afternoon to mark the occasion.
It is an honour and a privilege to stand here one last time as the Mayor of Ōtautahi Christchurch, celebrating the values that made us the first self-governing country in the world to grant women the right to vote.
Mayor Dalziel also had some welcome news to add to the day's celebrations around changes to line-up of MPs in Parliament.
When the former Speaker steps down from his role in Parliament, a woman will step into his place, making us the first Western democracy with 50% women in Parliament.
Christchurch's outgoing mayor was also encouraging everyone to vote in the current local body elections.
I believe voting is an absolutely wonderful way to honour these courageous women who stand behind and all those who stood with them.
Postal voting for new mayors and local body councillors across the country got underway over the weekend. In Christchurch, the South Today.
Whai Akane, still to come on the South Today. Clocking up the Ks, more than 50 drivers hit the road for the Ashley Rally Sprint in North Canterbury. And Otago hockey men's team claims a prize that's been 114 years in the making.
Great Britain has a collection of varied landscapes and countryside to rival anywhere else in the world.
And the best way to see it is to walk.
Well, mate, I'm thinking about getting a new ute.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Earth is a planet of extremes. Extreme places and extreme animals. But some animals are more extreme than others. Join us as we count down to find the most unusual, the most extraordinary, the most extreme.
Tēnā koe, welcome back. The type of engine didn't matter, with results coming down to the skill of the drivers at the Ashley Rally Sprint north of Christchurch. More than 50 drivers lined up over the weekend to race on the quickest mile many will ever drive on.
After a 2-year COVID-enforced break, the winners' margins for this year's Ashley Forest Rally Sprint came down to just a couple of heartbeats after 2 days of racing. It was a battle that could have gone either way between Cromwell's Hayden Patton and Sloane Cox of Rotorua. The pair trying to go just that little bit faster than each other on their final runs up and down the 1 mile long course on Sunday.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's always good to have competition. Competition's actually what we thrive off to help us push, and we're learning a lot about this new electric car. So, yeah, we're making progress. We've got a lot left in the tank, but Sloan will have a lot left in the tank as well. So, looking forward to seeing how the day progresses.
Former champion Sloan Cox was just happy things were going his way.
Real good. Had a couple of little issues yesterday, but we looked at the car, overcome those. Lucky they were small issues. And today we're excited. First run went real well and posted the time we wanted to do.
Padden, driving his fully electric Hyundai Kona EV rally car, set the fastest time of 55.54 seconds, just 0.38 of a second ahead of Cox's Mitsubishi Evo 8 Hill Climb Special. It was Padden's third win of the event and his first driving the all-electric Hyundai car. A total of 56 drivers lined up for the rally sprint, with many getting their final tuning done before they head north to compete in next weekend's WRC New Zealand Rally in Auckland. In Rangiora, the South Today.
It's taken more than 100 years, but Otago Hockey has claimed a special result, winning the prestigious Challenge Shield.
They have won the Challenge Shield for the very first time in history.
The Otago men's hockey team soared to an impressive victory over Wellington at the weekend, bagging the national title for the first time in its 114-year history. The game got off to a slow start, with neither team scoring in the first quarter, but Otago came alive in the second section, scoring 3 strong goals. But Wellington made sure it wasn't all smooth sailing for the home side. They came out charging in the third quarter, making the bold decision to pull their keeper for a period, which put the pressure on Otago with a couple of goals. But it wasn't enough to overcome the deficit, Otago ending up victorious 4-2 to claim the title. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. The sights and sounds of yesteryear returned to Kingston as the town's famous steam train welcomed back passengers on board. Firefighters were kept busy last night as cars went up in flames at another Wreckers Yard blaze in Christchurch. And it's 129 years since women gained the right to vote in New Zealand. The anniversary celebrated in Christchurch and across the country. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. And we welcome the editor, Barry Stewart. Kia ora, Barry.
Hello, Hannah.
What can we expect in your paper tomorrow?
Well, the big story, of course, is the Queen's service tonight. So we'll have a special tribute to the Queen in the paper tomorrow. But we'll also have live coverage of the service on odt.co.nz.
This evening?
This evening and through the evening. So look out for that. If you're struggling to sleep, you can just click on odt.co. Another big story in Dunedin, a drug bust in Dunedin. 2 men will appear in court this week, charged with conspiring to import drugs, and they had a street value in the millions. So more details on that a bit later, but that's a pretty strong story as well. And we have a look at our cafe and restaurant scene. There's a number of those properties, those what am I trying to say here, Hannah? Some of those businesses up for sale.
Yes, there is.
And there also some of the reasons is struggle for staff, as we all know.
Yeah.
So we have a look at a bit of a survey of the scene to see what's happening.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for covering that. Thanks, Barry.
Okay.
And time now for a look at the weather.
The South Today weather, proudly brought to you by MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Looking at the situation, fine and mild for most tomorrow, but a cold change arrives late in the day, making Wednesday and Thursday much chillier. Heading to the top of the South Island. Spots of showers or rain for most tomorrow, along with northerlies. Nelson heads for 18, 16 over on the west coast at Greymouth, and down in Christchurch, Ōtautahi, expect a gorgeous 19 degrees with brief rain. Travelling to South Canterbury and North Otago now, up in the high teens through here too. A little rain and northerlies with 19 for Ashburton. Timaru stays clear of the rain, instead getting light winds and high cloud with the 19-degree high, while the northerlies pick up in Oamaru and the temperature gets knocked back ever so slightly to 18. Westwards now to the Central Lakes. Light nor'westerlies and a few showers for some tomorrow. 17 for Wanaka and Queenstown, and warmer in Alexandra with a high of 18 degrees. Heading further south, a southwesterly change is on the way through here, along with showers. Still a warm enough day though, with highs of 16 in Balclutha, Gore and the Catlins. Now down to the deep south. Some clouds tonight with northerly winds in Waihopai and Invercargill with a warm low of 11 degrees. Tuesday starts off fine and sunny with westerlies before the southwesterlies pick up and showers roll through up to 16. Into Wednesday it cools down again with the southwest winds hanging around, still sunny at times with a high of 10 degrees. And lastly, heading to Otepoti, Dunedin. High cloud with northerlies tonight, down to 10. Fine first up tomorrow, then high cloud with southwesterlies and a few evening showers. The high warm with 18 degrees. And midweek, early showers clear and cloud will break, leaving a sunny day. Still cold with southerlies though, and a high of 10 degrees. And that's the news this Monday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. And you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. We'll see you again tomorrow. Ka kite e pōpō.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.